Welcome to the Fantasy Champions Fantasy Football Podcast. Here's your host, Morgan Colby and Rick Lemon.
What's poppin', my friendones?
What's up?
How we doing?
I'm lit. How are you?
Lit is a great way of putting how my day is going as well.
That's pretty lit.
That's pretty lit. Welcome on into the Fantasy Champions Fantasy Football Podcast. I do this like every Thursday show because I remember I didn't do it on the Tuesday show, but my name's Morgan Colby. I got Rick Lemon with me as always.
It's popping.
Fantasy basketball, my friend. What is that? What you looking up right now?
No. Why are you?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, you're gonna have to pull those numbers up for me because today we got a mock draft.
What?
So my screen is taken with mock draft information. I'll try to make it bigger this time for the faithful people who watch our podcast very, 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 very.
Yeah, dude, make it bigger.
Frequently. Make it every. It's so funny. I'm a graphic designer by trade, and clients always say, "Make the logo bigger," which is literally the most annoying thing that you guys list for fantasy football. But like, make the logo bigger is not something we want to hear if you talk to designers.
Bro, why can't you just make it bigger, bro?
And that's what she said. Before we jump into our part 2 for the mock draft, be sure to check out our website, thefantasychampions.com. Follow us on Twitter at the FFChamps, on Instagram at thefantasychampions. You can access facebook.com/thefantasychampions. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, or any other podcasting platforms we talked about on the last episode, you need to subscribe.
Wow.
Literally the easiest way to support the podcast. It doesn't require any money. Like, you didn't have to, you bought your phone.
I assume so.
You're probably paying for some kind of subscription service for your music or stealing it from somebody. So you should probably just subscribe, hit the button. It's so easy. You don't have to pay us to do it. We mean, we might someday run ads here this year, more than likely, but you don't have to listen to ads right now. So
Correct.
Just hit subscribe. It's free. Share it with your friends. And then leave a review. If you're watching on YouTube, do the same thing. Subscribe, click the bell for notifications, like, and comment down below if you think we completely suck at mock drafts or you think this is the best show that we've done all year.
Yeah. It's up to you.
It's really up to you. We had a lot of fun doing the last mock draft.
Correct.
So let's jump right in to the second part of our mock draft. We're just going to do 4 rounds because I told Rick before the show, doing 5 and 6 would just be overcompensating everything sometimes. So as a recap, this was the first 2 rounds of our mock draft projection, I guess. It was Christian McCaffrey, 101. 101 going forward to the end of the first round was Christian McCaffrey, Dalvin Cook, Saquon Barkley, Derrick Henry, Devontae Adams, Alvin Kamara, Jonathan Taylor, Nick Chubb, Tyreek Hill, Antonio Gibson, James Robinson, and then Aaron Jones. And then from the 201 on, we had Travis Kelce, Ezekiel Elliott, Stefan Diggs, DeAndre Hopkins, DeAndre Swift. Wow, okay. Taking both DeAndres back-to-back.
Yeah.
And then David Montgomery, Austin Eckler, Josh Jacobs, J.K. Dobbins, Calvin Ridley, DK Metcalf, and then Justin Jefferson. So now we're going to start with the 301. I said I was going to take 301, but why don't you go? Because I don't feel like it.
Okay.
Throw you in the...
Yeah, I think...
throw you in the fire.
At this spot, you're probably looking at maybe Michael Thomas.
So this team 101 has McCaffrey. They have Justin Jefferson. Should they be going running back or...
Are they? I don't know. I think I'll go with Joe Mixon here.
Okay. I'll put it on the board.
Nothing is really going to change in terms of the offense, and maybe the only thing that changes is the offensive line.
If Joe Burrow does not return
Yep.
all of next season and he's hurt, are you concerned at all?
A little bit, but it depends how long, right? I don't think he's going to miss a lot of the season. If he does miss any time next year, it's probably going to be like a few games, at most like 3 or 4 games. So it's not anything too crazy, hopefully. It depends how long he's out, though. But yeah, people forget Mixon was I think the RB8 or RB9 in points per game this year. Mm-hmm. So like he was actually pretty decent when he was out there. He just started off real slow. He had opening night, I think he had like 5 points.
Okay.
And then he had like an 8-point game. And then the next 2 weeks he had like 14, and 30 something. So, not the best, but in the third round here, he's a pretty dang good running back.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay,
we're gonna try not to make our show. I think it was 45 minutes last time.
We'll try to go
trim
quickly
down. Yeah, not do too long. But anyway, Joe Mixon. I kind of agree with that. In the position that you're in, if you're taking Justin Jefferson at 212 here,
I like that team, by the way.
Yeah, it's not a bad team, especially if Joe Mixon falls that far. I'm curious to see what the community's feelings on Joe Mixon is or are. I don't know the correct word to use there, but throughout the offseason, because he could very well go before Swift at where we had him at 205 if you're looking on the screen. He could go before Swift in the middle of that second round again, but I don't know. Personally, I wouldn't. I'd probably wait to the end of the second round or third round, but it depends on your strategy. Either way, the 101 has a pretty decent team right now.
Right, yeah.
So moving forward, I mean, you could say the same. 102, 103 probably should draft running backs as well, but we'll just go with what our gut is.
Who do you? Yeah.
So I feel at this point that it's difficult for me not to see Mike Thomas on the board.
Sure.
And I don't do this because I want to do it. I don't think Michael Thomas is, especially if Drew Brees is not back, which we're assuming that is the case. Ian Rappaport said that he wasn't coming back.
Yeah, it doesn't. I don't.
But that was
Doubt.
offhand. That wasn't like he is retiring.
Jay Glazer pretty much said this is his last game. He said like this is expected to be his last game.
So yeah, with him being with the expectation that he's not going to be there, should I drop him in my dynasty league to clear roster space, or should I just?
I would wait until the official announcement.
I've been waiting so long. I love Drew Brees, but I've just been waiting so long to drop him.
Yeah, I did that with Fitzgerald too. I was like, man,
is he just going to retire, or are we going to sit here and play with ourselves? So anyway, Michael Thomas is going to have a new quarterback in Taysom Hill. He disappointed a lot of people, but I think it was more due to injury than sucking. He wasn't great when he was on the field, but he was still a top 10 wide receiver. So to me, like seeing him go 7 or 8 off the board at wide receiver in the third round, like, I would say that's a steal because, did Taysom make him any better or worse when he was playing?
Taysom, he wasn't great with Taysom. I think he had one good game and then like one bad one with Taysom. So not 100% sure, but either way, I would be much more comfortable with Michael Thomas at Brees than Taysom Hill.
Yeah, that's probably fair. I'm surprised that it's 302. But it's not surprising.
Yeah, it is and it isn't.
It kind of hurts.
Yeah. So 3-3. This one's tough. There's a few guys I'm looking at here. I think at running back I could go Miles Sanders or Clyde.
That early?
Is it that early for Miles Sanders?
Really, not anymore. We literally so just to give you an update, if you listen to our show on Tuesday. All of the guys after Clyde and Miles Sanders that I have on Sleeper here that are just
they're all
listed,
like last year's third rounders.
Kenyon Drake, Chris Carson, Le'Veon Bell, James Conner, Leonard Fournette, Todd Gurley. Literally every single one of them is a free agent.
Yeah, that's
Do insane. We take any of those guys in the third and fourth round, or do we just say nah? Probably nah.
No, yeah, you're not taking any of those guys. Probably.
Anyway, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I think. It's tough though. I think I'm gonna go receiver here though. Or do you think Kittle goes in this range too? Somewhere in the third round, he's going to go.
Probably, depending on the quarterback situation.
Yeah, I think
that guy doesn't really matter for him. So
I think Mahomes kind of enters in this range, but
take whoever you want, Bo.
I'm gonna go Keenan Allen. I think he's a little underrated right now because of how he ended the season with the injuries. But if you remember, he was mostly with Herbert. He was a top 5, top 6 wide receiver for pretty much the whole year for like your 14 weeks almost.
Interesting pick.
Yeah, I think he's kind of one of those safe guys. Someone's gonna get in the third round that they know he's gonna be solid wide receiver too with Justin Herbert.
Mm-hmm.
There's definitely other guys who could go in this direction, but I think he's the safe guy, so that's why I picked him.
Okay, fair enough. It's like I said, it is a safe pick, and when you look at Keenan's numbers over the course of the season after Herbert took over,
he's really good.
He was really good. Like it was like
he had a bad first week with Tyrod Taylor.
Yeah, and a lot of people were down on him, but there were points in the year where I tried to trade for him in redraft because of his consistency in the target share department. I don't think Los Angeles changes anything in terms of, I mean, the offense is going to change. Did they sign a head coach?
They did. They got what's his name?
I can't remember any of the names of this.
I'm gonna look it up.
Okay. But I don't know offensively if is it a defensive minded coach? Do you remember that much?
I think it was.
Okay.
I do think it was.
I don't know who their offensive coordinator is going to be. I don't know what their offense is going to look like. I don't know if it's going to be a good thing or a bad thing for Justin Herbert to have to relearn an offense, and all of that. But I think Keenan Allen is his favorite target, so that would be.
They got Brandon Staley. Whatever.
Who the frick is that?
He's the Rams defensive coordinator.
So who's the offensive coordinator right now? Keep Googling, my friend, because I am concerned about that.
So it was the guy who was the offense coordinator is expected to be the new offense coordinator for the Eagles. So I think they're without one right now. Oh,
Okay.
wait. Joe Lombardi, Saints quarterbacks coach, is their new offense coordinator they just brought in. So the Saints quarterback coach.
Okay. I mean, alpha wide receiver 1, I think Michael Thomas.
Sure.
Maybe that lines up.
Yep.
We'll see what happens. That's actually not a bad choice for offensive coordinator, especially when you have a guy like Justin Herbert you need to develop. So
Right.
good job.
And,
good job, Chargers.
yeah,
You make good decisions unlike the Jets.
Correct. Through 14 weeks last season,
Yeah.
through weeks 1 through 14, Keenan Allen was the wide receiver 5 in fantasy too. And
Wow.
you just have that consistency with Herbert. Nothing's going to change. I think it's a very safe pick.
Yeah, I agree. I'm going to do what Rick said, and I'm going to say this team, 304,
Yep.
just they feel good, and they're going to take Patrick Mahomes. They're like, you know what?
We got our running backs.
I got my running backs. I can do my wide receivers in the 4th and 5th round. I'm going to take a quarterback. So there's not much to be said here. My strategy is not quarterback first. In fact, me and Rick we're running through our consistency total, our QB1 percentages, quarterback 2 percentages, and bust percentages from the 2020 fantasy football season.
Yep.
Just finished with the quarterback position, and outside of Mahomes and Josh Allen? No, it wasn't Josh
Aaron
Allen.
Rodgers.
It was Aaron Rodgers. Outside of those two guys, everyone pretty much was
Kind of inconsistent.
Josh Allen wasn't inconsistent in the fact that he didn't bust at all, really. He didn't.
Yeah,
have any
he just
bust
had
games.
a lot of games where he was like,
where he was edging like QB1.
Right.
So it was like 13, 14, 15, where he finished. But Mahomes, I would say, is probably the safest quarterback to take. After Mahomes, like to me personally, whether it's Josh Allen or any Dak Prescott, maybe I just don't feel comfortable taking any of the quarterbacks post Patrick Mahomes. Does that make sense? Like I just don't feel like he's going to be this, like I don't think anybody else after him is going to be prolific enough. And when we looked at those numbers, like those guys like finished as QB1 60% of the time, and if you're using, if your quarterback's only finishing as a QB1 60% of the time, and they're getting taken in the 5th, 4th, 5th, 6th round,
right?
Like that to me is a waste of a draft pick. So I will give people who draft Mahomes a pass. You can draft Mahomes, he's fine, but everyone else is really not that. So there's not much to be said. I think this is probably the range Mahomes would go. He might even end up being a late 2nd round pick, but
he's usually he's going to be in the same range he was last year, pretty much. Yeah, I'm going to go Miles Sanders here. I think it's about time we go with him.
You took Miles Sanders, and I don't like it. That's my guy.
I think in the 3rd round here is probably where he's going to go. Middle to early 3rd round. Definitely had a disappointing year, but still is the guy in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
And with Jalen Hurts there, he was better. So people are going to look at that probably. Still have hope.
Got to hold your breath for another offseason, though.
But yeah, you do got to hold your breath for another offseason.
The Eagles are just... Well, they got a new coaching staff.
Right. So, I mean,
we'll see what happens.
There's a chance he even gets drafted ahead of Joe Mixon. I don't think he should, but there's a chance. Or like J.K. Dobbins or someone in the 2nd round that we took maybe a little early.
Right. Fair enough. Let's move to 306. I don't know at this point. What does this team look like? They probably got to take a wide receiver.
Yeah,
at this point. These guys got to take. We'll do one as a 3 running back.
You could take Kittle here too in these next few picks.
Yeah, that's very valid. Julio Jones, I'm not really sure about at this point. Like, where do you think quickly? While I'm trying to make my pick, where do you think Julio should go?
Around this range, maybe late
Okay.
third,
All right,
but like
I
in
don't
this,
know where he's gonna
he
end up going.
starts in this territory. Yeah, because I still think Julio's like when he played last year, he was still very, very good. He was just injured for a lot of the season.
Yeah, I think. Oh man, I'm having a tough one. I think I'm going to take Amari Cooper.
You want to look at the rankings? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I took Amari Cooper. I'll do that.
It's a little off the board for me, but
Okay. I don't like. Do you really think Amari Cooper is going to go any later than 4th round?
no, I think he'd probably be a 4th round pick. But
Yeah, 'cause, I mean, right
it's
now
not,
it's 1, 2.
Yeah, it's not
3,
crazy
4,
off the
5,
board.
6,
It's
7,
just
8, 9.
there's just like
10th wide receiver on the board.
Yeah, there's just a few guys I would take over.
Where did he finish last year?
It wasn't that high, but you remember he was much better with Dak than he was with.
Yeah, he
Andy.
still had really good games. That's partially the reason why I would take him 306.
No, I don't think it's a bad pick because of how he was still the wide receiver 13.
This is similar to me like Keenan Allen
I believe that's true.
in the context that I think yeah, something we haven't talked about for a long time with Amari Cooper or ever really is consistency. With Dak Prescott,
he's a wide receiver 16.
He was getting 10 targets a game, and he was like a top 7 wide receiver. So, like, to me, third or fourth round is probably where I would take Amari Cooper. He could go anywhere though. Like at this point, when you get into the 3rd round, like you're arguing semantics at this point of where players might go.
Correct. Yeah.
You know, it depends on strategy. It depends on what you're trying to do for your team.
Yeah, that's fair.
And all that stuff. But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah. Here I think I'm gonna go Kittle. I think he doesn't really go much further than this. Especially if San Francisco, which they most likely will add a quarterback.
Yeah.
I mean, there's talks they're going to be aggressive about Deshaun Watson. They're aggressive about Matt Stafford. So
Poor Jimmy G's just going to be toasted.
But if they can upgrade at that position, man, and Kittle was already getting drafted in this area, there's a chance he might even be higher than this. So
yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
For this team, I guess we got to go.
Probably receivers.
We got to go receiver again. I don't want to go Julio at all.
Okay.
Can I take...
These are the rankings if you want to see them.
Can I take Allen Robinson?
Yeah, I mean Allen Robinson.
I forgot about my guy, AJ Brown. It's taking AJ Brown first.
Oh, I forgot.
I forgot he existed.
Oh, I wish we could move that around then.
You want to move him to 3?
Can we just move like everybody back one spot?
I'm gonna move
I would have taken him over Keenan Allen. To be
honest. AJ Brown.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Let me fix the whole draft. So we're gonna do instead.
Put AJ Brown there.
Put AJ Brown at 303. So we're live editing our mock draft. And at 306,
put Keenan Allen there.
We'll put Keenan Allen, and then we'll do at 38. Who did I take there?
Oh my gosh, I just forgot.
That's all right.
It was
Amari Cooper.
Yeah,
that makes a lot more sense.
There you go.
To me, because I was like, where's the extra wide receiver going? So as far as AJ Brown at 303, me and Rick will share thoughts, I guess. Yeah, I actually think he should go ahead of Mike Thomas, I think.
Yeah.
And I think in terms of like what'll actually happen, is Mike Thomas is probably going to end up getting drafted a little bit higher. But AJ Brown in this region, it sucks because he had the injury, so we didn't get to see, a full season of AJ Brown.
Correct.
Like, had he played the full season, he would have been a top 7, top 6, top 5 wide receiver total on the season, and it probably would have made him a second round pick.
I think there's a chance I would personally take AJ Brown over Metcalf, Jefferson, and Michael Thomas as well. I don't know if I'd take him over Ridley. Maybe.
Yeah,
That's
love
debatable.
AJ Brown. Metcalf and AJ Brown are equivalent to me, so I think the only player that I might take him over is Jefferson and Thomas at this point. I do like him as a wide receiver better than Hopkins.
Yeah, I mean he might fly.
Maybe,
he might fly aboard.
Maybe even Diggs. I like him a lot. I'm curious to see what the future holds for AJ Brown in Tennessee and stuff like that. So anyway, that would be 303, and then 308 would be Amari Cooper, and then it's your pick.
Yeah, I think at this spot they went receiver. So this could be a team that just does the 0 running back strategy.
You don't want to go with one of these garbage cans?
I think the only
free agent running backs. This fourth round is going to be interesting as heck.
The only guy here that I think at running back is Clyde that you could think about.
Cam Akers too.
Oh, Cam Akers is still there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Cam Akers might go here over Clyde.
Okay.
Not that I would do it, but I think that's probably the pick.
I
With
think
the
people are
height
starting
for
to forget, though. They're starting to.
Oh, yeah, but it'll come back.
100%. Agreed.
It'll come back.
Yeah, Cam Akers would be here for 310. Do you have any thoughts on the Cam Akers to pick? Or
Yeah, I mean, he's going to be like probably the workhorse. I know you're not sold on that yet, but it seems like they've kind of thrown Daryl Henderson.
It's not that I'm not
side.
sold yet. It's that I don't want people to hype him up into the second round.
Yeah.
That would be nice if individuals.
This isn't
in
a
the
bad
fantasy
spot for
community.
him, though. To be honest, I think maybe like early fourth, late.
If I'm
third
sitting
is fine.
at between 1.7 and 1.9, and I have the opportunity to draft Cam Akers in the third round, I'm happy about that.
Yeah,
I'm very
exactly.
happy
Yeah,
about
yeah. I think that's a solid spot for him.
Here, I think I'm gonna go. Clyde. Why not?
Okay, yeah, that's not a bad pick.
Little double. I actually think Clyde might fall a little further than this, and I think a lot of people drafted Clyde expecting for that top 5 production. Got what he finished 12,
Yeah,
and they got.
He really wasn't that bad.
He was not that
He
bad.
was like consistently getting like 12 points a week.
And he wasn't like a top 7 running back when before they brought in Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah, he was top 10, I think. I'm not sure about
Because
top
it took
7,
the
but he
Chiefs
was-
a couple of weeks to realize that Le'Veon Bell is just not that great
Yeah.
and stop giving him snaps.
But no, I mean honestly, like Clyde is a perfect RB2. He really is. Like he's
And
an
I think
absolute
he still
perfect
has the
RB2.
chance to be that.
Sure, with the upside.
Yeah, with the upside. So it's like, I think a lot of people are just going to move away from Clyde, and they're going to be like, no, he's not as good as we thought he was. Damian Williams is, and then there's going to be the community that comes out and says, oh, we told you Jonathan Taylor's better than Clyde
Yep.
Edwards-Helaire. Well, we knew that. Thanks for telling us that, you morons. It was about situation. But I think the big thing for Clyde is that it has taken him a little bit more time. It's taken him a little bit longer to acclimate himself to the NFL and to the offense of the Kansas City Chiefs. But one of the biggest problems that I told everyone about in the offseason, no one felt like listening to, was the fact that the Chiefs don't throw. Andy Reid's offenses don't throw to the running back position as much as you people think they do.
Yeah.
Like, it's about
He just
40,
chucks it down the field.
The most is like 40 times, 40 catches for a running back in a season, which is good. But everyone was talking about like how Kareem Hunt was this great pass catching running back. And I look back at his numbers and I'm like, yes, he's a good pass catching running back, but did he ever get 60 catches in a season? Did he ever get 50 catches in a season?
No.
You know what I mean? And it's like, why did we think Clyde was going to come in and get 60 to 70 catches? I mean, they got me convinced that was going to happen. And I'm like, why did we think that was going to happen?
Yeah.
So we need to put that in the blinders and the rear view. Clyde's a good running back. I don't know what the plan is for the Chiefs in 2021 when it comes to the running back position. They like Clyde. They drafted Clyde. I'm concerned that Darrell Williams is getting all of this spotlight at this point. But I think as far as him going into 2021, it could be hit or miss. You might strike out on this third round pick.
Yeah,
but
I'd be willing to
there's
take a
less
flyer on him in the late
risk.
third round, though.
There's less risk here than there would be taking him in the second.
Correct. This team is stuck in the past. They took Zeke. Now I'm going to take Julio. He's still, you're very, you don't like it, but
Stuck in the past.
he was still very, very solid.
No, he's fantastic.
he was like-
probably should go a little higher than this.
He was like a top 6 receiver, I think, before he got hurt. So he was still very good. But again, another year older. Quarterback situation, is it going to be Matt Ryan? Is it going to be someone new? You just don't know. So I think that's why he's in the late third round. I think that's probably reasonable for him.
Yeah. I'm gonna take A-Rob. Is that all right?
Yeah, that's good. That's good. I mean, you could even take him ahead of Julio. Depending on the landing spot, people might be like overexcited about A-Rob too.
He might get that. I would say it like
or if he stays with the Bears and they add a quarterback.
With the Bears and they add some form of a quarterback, or even if it's Mitch Trubisky, I still think this is where he would go.
Even if it's Mitch Trubisky, he's still a late third, early fourth.
Like, this is where he would land if he ends up in if he goes to New England. My love of Allen Robinson increases as a Pats fan, and as a fantasy football player, don't draft him.
Well, we'll see who the quarterback is next year.
Yeah, that's very true. If it's Stafford.
Yeah, I mean, if it's Stafford, I'm all in on Robinson.
So I think in this third, fourth round, you're probably going to see a lot of receivers go off the board, because right now, I mean, I like you could see a Hunt come off the board here in the fourth round. You could see
this is where I think a rookie comes in too.
Yeah,
like a Najee Harris.
I would agree with that, but I don't even think that Sleeper has these guys populated in the program yet. No, they do not.
Yeah, they don't.
So, we will probably take a lot of wide receivers here. Just know that there's going to be some guys that are probably better than others. And some of these, like some of the running backs we'll take are running backs that are questionable.
Yeah,
all of the third round running backs from last year shifting into the fourth round.
Like let's say this: if the Steelers draft Travis Etienne, he's probably going to be in this range.
Yeah, he'll probably be a third rounder to be honest with you.
And then let's say the Jets get Najee or the Dolphins get Najee Harris, he'll probably be in the fourth round. So, yeah, those guys will probably be the running backs in the fourth round. But again, Sleeper doesn't have those guys in yet, so we're probably going to go wide receiver heavy.
We'll just make a guy. Can you do that?
Can you create just draw his face?
A person. Yeah. I wonder if they still have that unnamed player somewhere in their system.
Maybe.
All right, who
unnamed player?
Oh, yeah, got it.
This is tough. You could look at your second quarterback in this range. I don't think they should.
But you could.
It's something that...
Who would you take here if you were going to go quarterback?
My second quarterback off the board's got to be Josh Allen, probably. Even though it's gross right now.
In the fourth round, no way.
I'm not taking... I just said I'm not taking a quarterback.
So
but
gross, dude.
Either him or Kyler. I think those are the two guys.
Yeah, fair enough.
Would be my second quarterback off the board. I
actually probably would say Kyler over Josh Allen.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
And this comes from a Josh Allen fanboy.
100%. I just think Kyler is probably the better quarter. That's probably how my rankings are going to go, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I'm going to say it's tough.
Like, is it bad to say like Mahomes, Kyler, Allen, Watson, Jackson?
No,
fair enough.
I had to think about that for a second.
He's like, I don't know.
I'm gonna go with Chris Godwin here. Don't know about the landing spot, which is why I was so torn about him and even Mike Evans, because there's a really good chance he doesn't end up in Tampa again next year, but there's a really good chance he does.
Wait, he's a free agent?
He is.
Oh my goodness.
And it's
there go the weapons. They're leaving Brady like.
Well, I think it was just more like a this year sort of thing anyway. Like they're going all in for this year, but I don't know. It depends. Like, it's gonna really depend on the landing spot with Godwin. I think there's a chance he could even go in like the fifth round.
I think he might stay with Tampa.
If he stays with Tampa, I think that's a good spot for him, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, he fell off a horse a little bit in terms of production this season, so
he did.
It's a little bit disappointing, but
yeah.
You would take him over Evans?
It really depends.
I'm not questioning your decision.
Yeah, I think I would. It depends on the landing spot, though.
Okay.
I know the guy I want to take next. I don't know if you're going to take him here, though.
No, enlighten me.
No.
He's like, I want to
even though it literally doesn't matter.
I think for me, it's probably got to be... I have no idea. This is pitiful.
You can look at this list. It's probably the better. Adam Thielen's still on the board.
Yeah, Adam Thielen's
Mike
100
Evans.
years old. I'm gonna take McLaurin.
God dang it!
I was actually thinking about taking who was it? It wasn't McLaurin. It was TJ Moore. But I'm not excited about DJ Moore at this point.
Well, it depends. I mean, if they get a new quarterback,
gone for me.
Yeah, no, McLaurin. I mean, you can talk about him, but I was hoping to talk about him.
Sorry. I was trying to find the guy you wanted. Terry McLaurin. I mean, I could have gone Adam Thielen here and just stuck this team with a bunch of like bricks.
Yep.
That were old men. But I didn't. I was trying to be fair. No, McLaurin is very good. It doesn't matter really who's at quarterback for him to have success. I'm curious to see who they bring in at quarterback this year. If they keep Alex Smith, or if they go out and draft a guy. I want to see what Washington's plans are moving forward. That if they do get a good quarterback, I think you could see McLaurin jump into the top, 12.
Right. Yeah.
But it's just with the changing of quarterbacks, it's hard for McLaurin. He's so talented. He's very good at football. He's fast. Like, he has a lot of the traits to be a fantastic wide receiver in the NFL. He just didn't have the quarterback.
Right.
And the constant changing of quarterback really affects him, I think.
I would probably take McLaurin over those 4 guys we just picked ahead of him. So Godwin, Robinson, Julio, and Amari Cooper. I'd probably take McLaurin. I love McLaurin.
Interesting.
And I do think they're going to get a big upgrade at quarterback. So I'm a big fan of Terry McLaurin.
Okay.
You're looking at tight ends, bro. There's nothing there.
You didn't want to draft
I'll go Mike Evans here, I guess. Sort of the same thing. He's not going anywhere. He's going to be with Brady again. I think in the 4th round, it's just a fine spot. He's a fine wide
anywhere
receiver
in the
too.
4th, really. You can argue, like I said, it's all semantics in this round.
Yeah, he's just a fine second wide receiver, to be honest. There's nothing too much is going to change, I don't think. And if Godwin goes, maybe he even gets more targets. We'll see.
Yeah. I'm going to have to take one of these gross running backs just to suffice, because this team needs one badly. I'm going to say... Oh, my gosh. Wow, this is an abyss, huh?
Right. This is the Najee Harris.
This would be Najee Harris.
Travis Etienne.
And stuff like that. But I would say, depending... Let's just
one of these guys...
Let's assume Chris Carson stays with Seattle, and I'll take him.
Okay.
Carson is a good running back. If he stays with the Seattle Seahawks, he's going to be the starter. He's going to be the workhorse. He's going to be in the same role. Expect injury. At this point, would you take him? Which is why he's a 4th round pick.
Yeah.
But in terms of like breakout running backs and guys that are available at this point for running backs, it's tough. It's a very tough spot. So
yeah.
Where do you Melvin Gordon?
So I was gonna say Melvin Gordon and David Johnson too. If
David Johnson's gonna be a 5th round pick. I don't even want to put him in this conversation.
Fair, but he was really good at the end of the year. Like, he was actually really
He's
good.
He's also 120 years old.
I know. I think his last 2 seasons... are they going to... As of right now, though, their only running backs on the roster is David Johnson and Duke Johnson. If that stays the same for next year, because they have so many needs and no draft picks...
That's fair. It's very fair, but like it's gross.
It's extremely gross, but I'm just saying he's an option. I'm going to go Adam Thielen here. I think he's just the best player on the board. He's also getting really old. But he's still very solid. He's still a top 10 receiver.
We're mixing like redraft with dynasty, but there's no rookies involved in this draft.
Right. But even when you say very old, even in redraft, like look at Julio last year. Like you just don't know. And Le'Veon Bell, guys who were 3rd round picks, running backs. Like sometimes they just fall off.
If there's gonna be a year for Thielen to poop himself, it's probably gonna be this one.
I think he's still got another year.
I'm very, 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 very concerned about the Minnesota wide receiver core, and I'll talk about that throughout the offseason. But right now, between Justin Jefferson and Adam Thielen, if Kirk Cousins is only throwing the ball like 18 times
so they did
a game,
throw the ball more this year, though.
Okay, that's fair.
But it's not of their choice. It's because when they're losing games, they throw the ball a lot.
I'm concerned about, especially with Justin Jefferson coming on. Thielen, like at the beginning of the season and for a majority of the season, was getting a lot of the target share, and that started to flip to Justin Jefferson. I think there's going to be a full flip to Justin Jefferson this upcoming year, and I don't know what Thielen's going to be. This is a personal take. This is not. He'll probably end up a 4th round pick, but I just don't think Thielen's going to be good this year.
You said that last year too. Because I just think Jefferson plays the Diggs role.
Listen,
like
I will play this like I did with Derrick Henry.
Kirk Cousins likes to throw to 2 guys
at the wall and hope it sticks.
Okay.
Fair enough. Well, I'll do it. I'll do what Rick said and just draft myself some David Johnson.
Oh, okay.
Or you know what? Screw it. I'm gonna take Melvin Gordon instead. It's disgusting. Right. I hate it, but I think you could make the argument.
That team needed a wide receiver, bro.
Yeah, that's true. You want to go back and undo it?
Yeah, you can do that.
Okay. See, you get the next one. I was gonna say guys like Kenyon Drake, James Conner. I think those guys, maybe even Kareem Hunt, you could put in this conversation as far as running backs are concerned. Like Kenyon Drake and James Conner depend on landing spot, really. Yeah. If like Kenyon Drake's back in Arizona, I think that he's very valid here at the beginning of the 4th round, end of the 3rd round in terms of running back selections, because you have what is this? We're going into like late RB2s, and James Conner's in the same conversation. So I think 4th round for these 2 guys is fine. But I probably would even take them, depending on landing spot, over David Johnson and Melvin Gordon. Yeah. So Rick made me take a wide receiver here.
You don't have to.
He's like, you don't have to.
I know the wide receiver I'd take.
It's like sliding the cheat sheet over to me.
Yeah, I am.
He's like, is this rankings?
Yes. This is 21 rankings. Early 2021 rankings.
Wait,
but I don't.
This is like, hey, you drafted Amari Cooper way too early.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bob Woods is probably the guy I'd go with.
Not the guy I'd go with.
How old is he?
He's getting up there. I mean, he's not crazy old. He's 28.
He's 28, yeah. He's just a safe, consistent player. He always ends up being a 4th-round pick, and he's kind of in the similar conversation to me as Adam Thielen. So,
fair.
This team who desperately needs Jonathan Taylor, David Montgomery. This is a gross football team, right? A fantasy team right here. I don't like this at all.
I don't like that team.
But they need a wide receiver. So and for me, if I was doing a strategy like this where I didn't have any running backs, I didn't have any wide receivers going into the 4th and the 5th round, I need to draft a guy who I know is going to get consistent week-to-week production, and that is Bob Woods.
Yeah, I don't think this team also could probably use a receiver, but the next 2 to 3 teams could probably use a wide receiver. So I don't know if I should take a running back just so to add running backs into this round.
Take the guy you thought I was going to take.
Okay, DJ Moore.
Okay.
Just because they're going to get a new quarterback most likely. And if they do, and he's an upgrade over Teddy Bridgewater, he's going to be really, really good.
I mean, we've been hoping for this DJ Moore.
I know, but he's still young. He's like 24. Check his age.
I know. It's just hurts my soul.
He's 23 still. He's young.
He's going to be 24 when the season starts, I believe. No, he's still young and he's good. But he
wasn't awful this year either.
And he wasn't great.
He definitely wasn't what we thought he'd be. But
gracious. I'll take a look. Yeah, he wasn't great, but it was like up and down. He was a lot worse than I thought he was. Like in half PPR or in PPR leagues, he was around like low end wide receiver too.
Yep.
So like in this spot, when you're talking about the wide receiver position, you're in the mid range of wide receiver too. Mm-hmm. This is not a bad spot for DJ Moore, but I definitely probably would take Bob Woods over him if I'm sitting here, and I'd like to. It might change depending on the quarterback or whatever situation.
Sure. But as of right now, Teddy Bridgewater, that's fair.
That's where I would be okay with taking him. As far as this team, we'll probably go wide receiver again, unless I'm scared.
You might be able to go running back here if you want.
I'm very scared. Where do you think Claypool goes in the draft, by the way?
It's coming up. Probably 5th round. I don't think 4th, but I'd say 5th round. They have.
Is there any guys we haven't taken in the top 20?
They have him below Hollywood Brown. I don't know about that.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to take Tyler Lockett.
Oh, that's gross.
It is really gross, but I'll take him.
Disgusting. Okay.
I mean, see, I'm confused too because I kind of like Chark. But that's not. I feel like it's too early.
Yeah, it is a little early.
You could also take Cooper Kupp. Kenny Galladay's good, but I'm not. I'm very concerned about
Deontay Johnson.
I like Deontay Johnson, but I kind of like Chase Claypool better, and I don't know what. Like, we're assuming Big Ben's going to be back, right?
If Big Ben comes back,
do they have Kenny Galladay ranked 11?
They do.
Goodness gracious!
I mean, you could actually go Kenny Galladay.
Let's just take Kenny Galladay for the sake of.
But what team is he going to be on? Because it's probably not going to be Detroit. He's a free agent.
Oh my god. Let's just say the whole NFL is going to be different when this draft is over.
Yeah,
maybe it wasn't a good idea.
This is why this is
second, third round. I mean, 3rd and 4th round here.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, I don't think Kenny Galladay is a bad pick. This is another guy that could fluctuate based on situation.
It's going to big time. Yeah.
DJ Moore he might even end up a 5th round pick if Teddy Bridgewater stays and he ends up being the quarterback. Kenny Galladay, goes back to Detroit.
With a rookie quarterback.
It's not going to be good for him. And Kenny Galladay's also not going to be great for him. I'll say that. He's also been somewhat injury prone for the last couple of years.
True.
So it's kind of one of those positions where I don't want to put him in the conversation of an AJ Brown or anything like that. Like, obviously, people on Fantasy Pros seem to like him in their rankings because he's 11.
That's too high.
I would probably put him
high.
like 16 or 17. Maybe behind McLaurin and right around where Thielen is.
I'd put him like 18, to be honest.
Yeah, like right around where Thielen and Bob Woods are on this. If you go to the Fantasy Pros website and look up their rankings on the season.
As of right now, because we don't know. Because if he re-signs with Detroit, it might not be the worst.
I see why you wanted me to take a running back here.
Yeah, because this has to be a receiver as well.
We just got to run. That's all right.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. I was gonna take Galladay here. I'll go Deontay. I know you personally like Claypool more, but Deontay was the guy. I mean, he had a ridiculous.
When did he
go
from an 11th, 12th round pick to now the 4th round?
It's the target share, dude. How many targets did he? I'm gonna look up how many targets he had.
He had you look at target share, but I believe he had something similar to what Juju had the year he broke out, 150 or something like that, maybe 140.
Yeah, it was. He had a ridiculous amount of.
Oh wait,
of targets.
Dead air is awesome.
Bro, really?
I decided that I was gonna try to be 27 again, as you can see on camera, or no, 17 again, like the stupid movie. And I dove for a football on Sunday. Just one route. I was quarterback for the whole thing. I ran one route,
and then dove for the ball and destroyed yourself. Yeah,
let's just say my whole body did not feel good.
Deontay Johnson had 144 targets last year in pretty much 14 games. So, because one game he got benched in the first quarter, and then he missed one full game.
I think if Big Ben is there and knowing Mike Tomlin's system, you're going to see a very similar situation for Deontay Johnson and Chase Claypool, where they both get a large target share.
Claypool only had 109. Deontay Johnson had 40 more targets than
it took
Chase
Claypool like 5 weeks or 6 weeks to get involved, though.
That is true, but even look at the fantasy numbers. Claypool really had 2 dominant weeks, and then after that goes kind of 5 points a week or 6 points a week. He had a few. He had 3 good weeks.
Be fair.
I am, dude.
Be fair.
I'm just saying, Claypool was.
No, it's not a bad pick. I'll tell you that. At 409, I love Deontay Johnson. I might be in the club of taking him, right around this spot, or maybe even in the 3rd round next year based on target share, because I think that my problem is that if he gets 140, 150 targets again, is he going to end up where he was, or is he going to get better? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
The efficiency with the targets was not great. So it's not a bad pick, but
it wasn't great, but I mean,
where is he ranked on Fantasy Pros?
I looked at the wrong one. They have him at 23 among receivers for next year. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was 8th in the NFL in targets in 14 games. So
yeah, the target share is there.
14 and a half.
I think his biggest issue was touchdowns. I don't think he had a problem with yardage.
Yeah, I mean, 7 touchdowns isn't great.
It's not bad. How many yards did he have?
Yeah, it was yard. He didn't have a ton of yards. He had 920.
How many catches did he have? 88?
88, yeah.
Oh,
so he wasn't
that's
crazy.
Gross, dude.
Yeah, it is gross.
So I don't know. I don't know with Deontay Johnson. I like him, but when you look at Claypool's numbers, he looks like an alpha 1 wide receiver in the flashes that he's had. Whereas Deontay Johnson looked like he couldn't catch a piece of toilet paper if somebody threw it.
No, I understand. I think dynasty
a toilet
wise,
paper roll. What is that movie? I don't even know what the movie is called.
I have no idea even what you're talking about.
Breaking Gender Roles. The girl playing football for her dad, and they create what's the team? They created like a wacky
I'm so
team.
lost.
If you don't know what I'm talking about,
no.
Okay.
Yeah, Chase Claypool. I mean, he had his big breakout
week.
What
movie is that?
Well, he was actually pretty good, but he had a 5-week stretch where he got under 10 points. What
their team name was the Giants? Maybe it wasn't the Giants.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I wish you did. You have seen this movie. The kid learns how to catch with like literal toilet paper. You know what I'm talking about? This is a classic movie.
I'm lost.
Oh man,
maybe I probably have seen it. I just don't know what you're talking about.
So this girl signs up for the football team, like a Pee-wee league, and they say
it's like a Disney Channel movie,
probably. And they say no, you can't be on the team, and they're like, it's because you're a girl and all this crap. And then she goes to her dad, and her dad's like, who doesn't know anything about football, is like, we're gonna form a team, we're gonna try to face them. And then they formulate a whole team, and then they end up beating.
Dude, I don't know. I have no idea. You got to look it
I'm
up after
so
the show.
mad. I'm so mad that I can't remember the name, and everyone's gonna be like, "This
Or
guy's
look
an
it up
idiot."
after my next pick. But your pick is up. Probably
Okay.
go. You can go running back here if you want.
I'm gonna take Kenyon Drake.
Bro, what the? You just said you were gonna take Melvin Gordon like 6 picks ago.
Yeah, that's true.
And then
No, he's right. I'll take Melvin Gordon here. Melvin Gordon, what was he? RB 14? Is that where he was? I wish I could look this up myself because I would have already done it.
oh my gosh, my laptop is taking forever to load. So
Okay, well,
world
I
may never
believe
know.
I believe he was like around RB
He was on RB2.
16.
he was RB 13. Yes.
Okay, so he actually had a pretty good year last year. I believe he missed a couple of games. What did he play? 15 games or 14 games?
Played 15, so he missed 1.
So yeah, he was actually relatively decent. I don't know what Denver plans on doing with the backup situation, but if Philip Lindsay does not return and they don't really add anyone besides maybe a rookie running back to this team, Melvin Gordon is going to be the feature guy. I don't like it. I don't think it's a great it's not. It doesn't make me feel cozy inside because he's like an old man. But I will take Melvin Gordon. I hope he ends up in the 5th round because I actually might take him as a flex. But here it's not a bad place to take him.
Yeah. No, that's not a bad spot. I'll one up you and go David Johnson at 4'11".
That's disgusting.
Just because I think he's going to play pretty much the same role he did last year.
Okay.
And he was pretty dang good, actually, from his limited action. He averaged 13.6 points per game, which was better than Zeke, Antonio Gibson, Miles Sanders, DeAndre Swift, Kareem Hunt, Melvin Gordon, Ronald Jones. So, he was actually pretty good last year, and I know he finished the year strong. In Dynasty, I absolutely hate him. And he's going to be one of those really gross picks like the 3rd rounders last year. So probably going to be
Giants. That is the movie name.
Can I see a picture of?
Yeah.
Oh, I do kind of know that movie.
He's too young for this.
No, I've seen that movie. I just don't remember anything about it. But
Okay.
I know the picture.
Well, one of the kids learns how to catch with toilet paper, so that's all you need to know.
Yeah, I don't remember anything.
That was a point back when Deontay Johnson commenting on his drops. This show is exactly the same length as the last one, so
yeah.
And I probably wasted 5 minutes trying to remember the name of that freaking movie.
You definitely did. All right, you got your last pick, bro.
Oh, that's right. You know what? I'm gonna take a wide receiver here. Let's do it. No, let's not.
The
do
Walrus?
that. Darren Waller.
You don't think another quarterback goes on?
I'm gonna take Kyler here. I'll take Kyler 412 just for the sake of argument. I actually think there's probably gonna be 3 quarterbacks that go in the
5th
top
round.
5 rounds. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe 4, but there
Josh
will
Allen.
definitely be a quarterback in the 4th round, and I actually think it'll be earlier than this because people are crazy.
Yeah.
What do we have last year ADP wise? 3 quarterbacks. We actually have last year's ADP sitting right in front of me. Yeah, Lamar was the 4th round. Kyler, I believe, was the 5th round. So it was the first 2 rounds. I mean, first 4 rounds where first couple quarterbacks went off the board. But there you have it. There's our list of individuals that we think are going to go.
A lot of wide receivers in that 4th round, huh?
You look at last year's draft, the 3rd, 4th round looked like that. So we're not too far off.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. I mean, I think in terms of a lot, I think in the 3rd or 4th round is going to change.
Is there a team
lot.
that you like the most?
Oh, let's see. I mean, I screwed up 101. I like that one a lot. I'm gonna have to go with my Saquon Barkley. No, I don't like that one either.
They're all gross.
Yeah, it is kind of gross, isn't it? Yeah, I would probably say the Gibson Elite. No, I don't like Mike Evans. Alvin Kamara and Austin Eckler. If
Yes. Yeah, that's probably the team.
yeah, Keenan Allen and DJ Moore though are gross wide receivers. I'll go back to 103. Barkley and Melvin Gordon with Calvin
I
Ridley
don't
and
like
AJ Brown.
Melvin Gordon, but yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, that's probably the best team. Metcalf and Mike Thomas with Dalvin Cook and David Johnson are not bad, but you get what you get when you drafted that spot.
David
and
Johnson.
You wait that long on wide receivers, I guess. But there is your first 4 rounds. We're not going to do this. We'll do probably round 1 again. And update what we feel, and hopefully, I'm assuming maybe probably the beginning of next month, sometime in next month maybe, we'll do a real mock draft with real people and see what the temperature is in the room for a lot of guys, and hopefully we have some ADP as well. Yeah. But there is your list of players. Enjoy it. I'll give you a second to look at it. There's your
Pretty
1
gross.
second. Pretty gross.
Especially that last round.
Yeah. So don't forget to check out our website, thefantasychampions.com. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram, and we will talk to you on Tuesday, my friends.
Take it easy.
Thank you for listening to the Fantasy Champions Podcast. Make sure you subscribe on iTunes and YouTube, and follow us on Twitter @TheFFChamps.